Welcome to the Melanin Jelly Project Conversations, a podcast that celebrates diversity and representation in children's storytelling, entertainment, and edutainment. I am the host, Olunosen Louisa Ivaze. On this podcast, I chat with authors and creators of children's books, entertainment, and edutainment. This is also a collaboration with the Ottawa Black Book Club. So welcome, Maxine Sewitt. Welcome to the Melanin Jelly Project Conversations.
Thank you, Louisa.
My name is Olunosen Louisa Ivaze, and I'm the host of this lovely podcast. I put this podcast together because I realized when I started writing for children, I realized that we do not have enough podcasts that celebrate diversity and representation in children's storytelling. And most of the podcasts, just focus on the story and not really on the author. So this is Maxine Sewitt, the author of ENOCH and Harold's Great Adventure to Grandma's House. So welcome, Maxine. Maxine and I go way back, from the struggle days.
Struggle.
Yeah. So, dear Maxine, tell us about yourself and what inspired you to write this lovely book.
Well, again, thank you very much for the invitation, Louisa. I am honored to be here. Myself, I am 5 of 6. My parents are from Barbados. I lived there for 10 years, but I was born in England, Manchester. Then I came to Canada in 81, I do believe, and I've been here ever since. So I have 1 son and I have 4 little grandkids. I have 3 girls and 1 boy. And a few years ago, for some strange reason, I think I saw a French bulldog or something, a puppy, something, and he was so cute. And in my head, he just stayed in my head. And the name ENOCH I attached to the dog.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I don't know why. And I think one day I just sat down and started to write this little story. It was like 3 pages long or something like that, because it just drew me to it. So I said, ENOCH and Harold. No reason or anything for this story. It just came into my head and I wrote it down. This was probably in 2017 or so. And I tried to get my 2 granddaughters to proofread it for me because they were probably about, 12 and 13 at the time. However, that didn't go off very well regarding the interest. So I just left it on my phone and I just, I wrote it and left it there. In 2021, was it the Christmas of 2021 when we were speaking and we were talking about life, Louisa and I were talking about life and life goals and things like that. And you asked me about what I wanted to do and if I had any projects going on. And I told you about the book that I had written. Not expecting it to go anywhere, not expecting to see it, not expecting anything along those lines. I mean, I had no clue. And you encouraged me to send it to you and so that you could have a look at it. And you said we could make this work, So, we went through the things that I didn't even think of, the characters, the colors, like questions that had never even crossed my mind. And I said, man, there's more to writing a book than writing a book. And, we went to a Fiverr and we got an illustrator and, everything was, how should we say, grassroots, because there is, the finances at this time are not really there. But I ended up with the end product that was bright and pretty. And, I like it. I, as a perfectionist, I think I could have done better. I see there are ways that I can tweak it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a finished product. It's a start, a middle, and a finish. So it's a completed project. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I have a few pictures of little kids who are reading the book. And yeah, I have a few of them. Some of my friends bought the book. And I know one friend that I went to school with in Barbados, she bought about 10 copies and sent to Barbados. To her sister is a teacher. So she sent it to Barbados so that it could be distributed in a nursery or kindergarten or something along those lines. And I am very appreciative for that. So to me, it may not be 100% perfect, but at least it's something that, I can share. And I know that I do have some friends that are proud of what I did. So, it's a start. It's a start.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful start. One thing I will tell you is anytime you get pictures of kids reading the books, if the parents permit you to post, you can post, and you can just block off their faces for private. Yeah, what I do is when I put up my children's books with kids holding up the book, I put a smiley emoji on their faces.
Yes.
Yeah, just to protect children, because the way the world is crazy these days.
The world is very crazy. Yeah. The world is extremely crazy.
And even your friend who sends to Barbados, if they can get pictures of children holding up the books, it's really good. It helps publicity. So you can put those pictures on your Facebook page.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to contact her afterwards and ask her if it's possible. Yeah. She's actually in Barbados right now. She's on another serious mission, but yeah, I will ask her if she can do that for me.
That's great. Yeah, and like I said, Maxine, I fondly call her Lady M. We go way back from struggle days when I just moved to Canada. And the conversation you just spoke about, I remember that conversation very well, because I have this thing that I do, especially when I'm led. I always feel that in life, when you come to this world without having an impact on anybody's life, it's a wasted journey. And every year I make sure that, I ask myself, how can I help one person be better? How can I help one person fulfill their dreams?
Yeah.
How can I help one person find purpose? Because I realize that a lot of people struggle with that. There's nothing as terrible as getting to a certain stage in your life and going, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that.
Yeah.
I realize that a lot of things don't happen for people, not because they don't want it to, but just because they don't know how.
Yeah.
And they don't have that support. And another thing is, when I decide to help people, I say, you help people who can't pay you back. That's where the blessing comes from. Yeah, helping people who can't pay you back. Because it takes me back to thinking of leadership. As a leader, every time I have worked in leadership positions, I make sure that all the staff who work with me, in one way or the other, I have an impact on them. I teach them, they learn one new thing, discipline, ethics, but I give back. I always make sure I have an impact that will last a lifetime. So I'm happy
that is beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm very happy that we were able to work on the book together and just get the book out there. Yes, nothing is perfect, nothing is 100%. And the beautiful thing about creativity is that you can always take that manuscript back, rework it, rewrite it, get another illustrator to illustrate, and then publish it again. That's the beauty. Yeah, that's the beauty of self-publishing. Okay, so I'll ask, what were some of the challenges you experienced when writing your manuscript?
At the time, the biggest one was my computer was not up to par. I think it was a 2012 computer or something like that, laptop. And you plugged it in and you looked at it for 5 minutes and it would just check out. So that little manuscript I wrote on my cell phone. And then I took pictures of the pages, and that's what I had sent to you on the email. They all look dark. That's what I had done. So there was that. And it was mostly technology stuff that was the drawbacks, I would say. Not knowing how to do something, because I find for myself, I will write it down. I will write the steps down and follow it, and I will do it myself. You know, those words of what you said to me a few minutes ago, actually, I can do it better myself. Because when you ask people to help you do things and they screw it up, you kind of go, shoot, I could have done a better job.
So, and save time.
You know, it's annoying. So my frustration was not knowing the steps to do this myself. And I think that is one of the drawbacks that I am faced with at this point in time. I think I foresee a lot of tutorials in my future. But the fact that I don't have that control of doing it myself and knowing certain steps to do, having to reach out and annoy you you know, because I know you're a super busy person, and having to call you for some things that normally somebody else would know how to do it in a pinch. How do you upload, download, cross-load? It's like, what? You know, because I was always on the phone and not on the computer. So these things over the years, I fell behind on that, right? Having to reach out where the fiber is concerned. I am a person who likes to communicate by words. Not necessarily, I'm not a really texting person unless it's a short message. When you need to get information across, having to write it down and have it translated, basically speaking to another country, and I'm not 100% sure she knew exactly what I was trying to get across or why I was trying to get across a certain point. That was a little frustrating. There are questions to this day that I would like to ask that illustrator that I really can't, because as Fiverr is, you pay for a job and you get certain parameters of that for that. And if you want more, you pay again, right? That person, you know, they do their best to accomplish what you ask them to do. But at the end of the day, there's a certain timeline, a certain price, and then they're out. I can't go back to her and say, is this, or did you think, could we? None of that. So that was one of the areas that was a little frustrating, I would say, for me, and having to wait because it was night and day difference also. You know, having not done this journey before, it was different. It was different. And I wonder if there's not say an easier way, but a more, a way that I could see myself more in control of that process. Okay. You know, because, for instance, when we uploaded it to Amazon, they sent back an email that said the parameters didn't fit.
Sizes, yeah, the sizes.
And I was lost. It's like, what do you mean the parameters don't fit? And actually, even as I'm looking at the cover, there's a little bit about a centimeter of white space at the bottom.
Space at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So and on the side. So you know, things like that, because I had to again reach out to her to ask her to fix those things. And I wondered, well, if she's told me she's done this before, so how come I have this problem? You know what I mean? There were questions. Yeah. So, you know, it was a little bit complicated, so to speak. But whenever you venture into an area that that is not your area or a new area, granted, nothing's going to be a walk in the park. No pun intended, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think I know that from other authors I've interviewed, they always talk about different self-publishing houses, yeah, who you can actually pay and all you do is you hand them your text, your written work, and then they will find the illustrator, they will do the formatting, and they do everything. But these things, sometimes I feel they're capital intensive. So you have to have that money. You have to have, because the lady I spoke to yesterday is in the US, and she said for everything she did, it cost her almost $5,000, and that's USD. Yeah.
Wow.
Some spend more. But I would say this, right? That in life, I live a life of gratitude. I'm grateful every day for small wins. Challenges I used to have, and that was one thing that delayed. I would have started this podcast a very long time ago. I felt that the time wasn't right, the situation wasn't perfect. I didn't have the perfect stage. I didn't have the right microphone. I didn't have, perfectionist tendencies.
Yeah.
And one day I just woke up and I went, you know what, Louisa? Just do it. Yeah, imperfect, make your mistakes, and as time goes on, get better. So for people watching my podcast, if you watch from the very first episode, you would notice an improvement every episode. My first few episodes, I didn't have my microphone. Yes, I didn't have my microphone, and when I finally got the microphone, for the first episode, for the next episode, the microphone didn't work.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, the microphone didn't work, so I had to disconnect it. So now these days, I'm learning to be vulnerable. I'm learning to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to be 100%. But you know what? Just go ahead and start. And when I thought about it, I said, if I decide to start a podcast for diverse authors, who is going to be interested? Maybe people people know me as an adult writer. People don't really know me as a children's author. But who is going to be interested? But here we are today. This is the 24th recording I've had. Exhausting, but we are booked up to the end of June already. Wow. Yeah, because the
congratulations.
So the goal of this project was to do 54 episodes. That's all the Fridays of the month of the year 2023. At the rate of going, we are gonna have more than that because new episodes air every Friday morning. I have to start releasing new episodes every Wednesdays and Fridays.
Wow.
Yes, the way we are going, this is what I foresee after June. This is what I see happening. Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay, even though it's not perfect. The good thing is that when you have time, you have the resources, you can always sit back and rewrite it. So what are some of the things in regards to writing? I know that you spoke of the challenges. What are some of the things you wish you knew before you ventured into publishing, self-publishing?
Well, as I said, I didn't even envision all the little things that were associated with putting the book out. I remember when you asked me, what color are the characters? Are they Afro-American? Like, are they black? Are they white? I said, what? I didn't think of that. I didn't think of what costume or clothing or the colors or why, right? I had to think about that. Where do they live? Like, envision what kind of house or what kind of car or things like that, characters. Forming a character and why they are the way they are or how they look, you know what I mean, is very important. As a Black woman, also I had to realize you gotta think in your lane, so to speak, right? But writing it down on paper, I did not even think of that. It was just a story. I didn't think in pictures. I just thought in words. And so it's been a journey of growth So now when I wrote the second one, which I have written, is just not packaged out as yet.
Okay.
I started to try to think more of why I'm writing it, what if there's any message to put in it. I know everybody is writing stories these days about, you know, if it's not diversity or struggles or whatever have you, there's always a reason for the book, so to speak. What if it's just a book? You know what I mean? It's just a book about two dogs that live in Toronto and they're always happy. But there could be more. There could be a little something in there that would give maybe one of these readers or their parents or something an idea, or maybe, you know, what can I get involved in, you know, that would encourage someone to read this book in opposed to a different book, right? So I'm beginning to think broader. I'm beginning to think more broad, in the sense of, I live in Toronto. Yeah, there's dog parks in Toronto, actual dog parks in Toronto. There's dogs. And I must say, for the record, I do not have a dog.
Yeah, because I was coming to that question. I was going to ask, what inspired you? Why a dog story? Why you have grandkids? Why didn't you choose to write about your grandkids? Why did you choose to write about dogs?
Because the name came up before anything else. I wrote down on a piece of paper one day the name ENOCH. For some reason, that name just held me. And I know that I'm British/Bajan, but ENOCH Powell, the man with the big eyebrows back in the day, I don't know anything about him. It's just a name. It's just a different kind of name. And so what would be associated to that name? I said, when I saw the little French bulldog, it's like, you look like an ENOCH. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's those characters are what started the story, right? Those are what started the story. I was a little frustrated because the pixie, the cat there's a cat, also two dogs and a cat.
Okay.
And I envisioned a different cat, right? A different type of cat. But the one that I got from the illustrator, I couldn't change, you know? So the cat is slightly sad. I can say that. If you look at that cat, you go, I wouldn't really trust you. I tried to get her to soften the characteristics of the cat, but it seems as though she couldn't do it. So that
her style of work, because before you get an illustrator, it's important to look at the illustrator's previous work, style, and then reviews.
Well, on Fiverr, there's only so much you can see.
And I think it was because we were working on a really tight budget at that time.
Very squeezy tight. Yeah. Very tight.
So we had to take what we could get at that time.
So I don't know. I don't believe they're original. That's one of my questions, as these are not characters that she literally drew. And I don't know how illustrators
style. I don't know. I think it's a style.
I don't know. I love the dad. I love the dad. He looks like a FBI agent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's very cool. You know, the characters, I actually do love the characters, but I would like to soften certain ones. You know what I mean? There's certain things that, you know, a French bulldog or a pug. Right now, I have two pugs. The bulldog didn't make it.
Oh, wow.
You know, so these are things that I tried to convey to her. These are the type of dogs, and I sent her the pictures that I had sent to you. And I guess she looked on her whatever and couldn't find those types. And I got these ones, right? And these are very tall pugs, mind you. Pugs are short little dogs. These are tall. So obviously they're mixed. Obviously they're mixed.
Okay.
But as I said, I couldn't really not say I protest that, because I was trying to see what it's going to look like. You know what I mean? So you work with what you've got. My mother used to say, if you don't have horse, ride cow, right? You'll still get where you're going, not that fast. So as you said, later on down the line, these characters may very well change.
Oh yes, oh yeah. That's the
Right.
beauty. That's the beauty of creativity. You have the power to do a lot of things. You can change your, like I tell people when I write my adult books, the beauty of being an author is I can create characters, I can kill them off, bring them back if I want to. So yeah, so that's the beautiful thing. You can always, if you're not happy with these characters or you're not satisfied with these characters, when you are ready and you can find a different illustrator with a different style. Yes, and add text, take out text, change the characters, switch up the characters. Yeah. Do what you want. Yeah.
But as they stand right now, with the children that I've had feedback from, they're fine with it.
So
they don't. You see, the
we had a problem.
Don't know, because like you said, perfectionist is bad. It's very bad.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's very bad.
That's every day. It's bad.
You know, I haven't heard anybody complain.
Would you like to read your book? Because I always like to ask authors to read out their books. Because
I will do that. Enoch and Harold's Great Adventure to Grandma's House, written by me, Maxine Sewitt. Okay. This technical page.
As you read, right, it would help if before you start a page, you hold it up to show us the page and then you read it.
Very nicely done. Okay. So, and this is our introductory page here.
Read up a bit. Yes, great.
Okay.
So we know what the characters look like. Okay.
And that there is Pixie the cat, as I was telling you earlier.
Weird Pixie.
A little psycho, just a little psycho. All right. And this book, dedicated to my 4 grandkids, as upon your suggestion.
Pick it up. Yes. Nakia Junior, Tiona, and Amaya.
Amaya.
Okay, Amaya. Okay.
Amaya.
Okay.
Now, Enoch and Harold are 2 very happy dogs. They live in a city called Toronto with their family. There is Daddy, Mommy, baby Cece, and Pixie the cat. Today's adventure.
Okay. No. Yes. Good. That's the family. Okay.
Yeah. There they are. And as you can see, Pixie the cat.
Okay.
I tried to get her to straighten that out, but today's adventure is a visit to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Enoch and Harold love to visit Grandma's house. They're on their way.
Okay. Nice.
Grandma and Grandpa live in another city far away, so they are excited to go on a nice trip. Pixie the cat won't be coming with them this time. She prefers to sit in the window at home and enjoy the sun, as most cats do. And there is Pixie sitting in the window.
Okay.
Grandma's house always has treats and toys, and she has a nice big backyard. She has a tree so they can run and play to their heart's delight. Who doesn't like to run and play? In the yard at Grandma's, Daddy and Grandpa played Go Fetch with Enoch and Harold. And there's Enoch and Harold taking some time out.
So who's Enoch? The gray one or the brown one?
The gray one.
Gray one
That's
is
Enoch.
Okay, then Harold.
And that's Harold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they took a much needed rest. After a nice drink of water, They set off to play. They set off again, playing chase with each other. What fun they had. Grandma and Mommy sang songs to baby Cece while they made dinner in the kitchen. I don't have a picture of the dinner in the kitchen.
Okay.
However, I do have a picture of Enoch and Harold having their water.
Having their water, okay.
Yeah. Dinner is ready, and boy, everyone is pretty hungry. Grandpa even bought special food for Enoch and Harold, and it was delicious. Mommy and Daddy, Grandma and Grandpa have pasta, which smells very yummy indeed. Dinner table.
Nice.
After dinner, it's time to go home and get ready for bed. Goodbye, Grandma. Goodbye, Grandpa. See you next time.
Nice. That's the whole family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally home. Pixie. Hello, Pixie. We are back. One more short walk with Daddy, and then it's off to bed.
Okay.
There's Daddy. Enoch and Harold had a great adventure today, and they are so tired. Good night, Enoch. Good night, Harold. Good night, Pixie. Good night, everyone. Good night. See you on your next adventure.
That's very nice. Oh, that's them in bed. And that's Pixie. So what do you hope to see for your book? What do you hope? Or what do you hope to see?
I would like it to be a stepping stone for little ones to, learning how to read. I am a person who likes actual books. I know that, you have your Kindles and the electronics and all that, but I like books.
Yeah, me too. I do like books. I only got this Kindle because in honor of Black History Month, I think that was March. I told authors it was okay to send me ebooks in Black History Month only. But apart after that, I don't do. I always ask for physical. I always love books.
I love books. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
That was a very well done project that you have there.
That's mine. Oh, I'll talk to you about it when we're done.
Very, very nice to that. But I would like to see, as I said, everything that you put out there should have some sort of little lesson in there. I try to promote, yes, they come from Toronto. That's where I am. And the type of dogs that they are. At one point, I think I had too much information. You know what I mean? And little ones don't need all that information. So I have to make it more compact. There's a little lesson to be learned here, just a little one. These aren't big adventures. They are things that people do all the time. Kids go to grandma's house. Some kids, when they get a certain age, they don't want to go to grandma's house anymore. It's boring. You know what I mean? Been there, done that, seen it. With my son, but my son and his grandmother had a fantastic relationship.
Okay.
And when you can make an adventure anywhere, anytime. So these are not big things happening in these dogs' lives. They're dogs. They like to be happy. They like to play.
Yeah.
Right? And when you pair that with little kids also like to be happy and play.
Yeah.
So in the future, hopefully, when I finally get settled on what the characters look like, and that's all solid, I hope to be able to at least put out a few stuffed animals along those lines.
Okay, great.
Nothing huge, just some stuffed animals for the little ones. And as I said, for the ones that are past that stage, at least something to get their mind thinking. Like for instance, in Toronto and stuff like that, one of the things for the book, sentences and all that kind of stuff, I have to make some of those sentences a little shorter. But I hope to at least, as you said, make an impact in some way. It's a very small footprint at this time, but I do have some ideas regarding other storylines. I have a niece, a real niece, who has a Bernedoodle. And I call this dog a walking sofa because he's big, but he's quiet. He's well trained. And he's I think he's a special needs dog. Basically, she can take him to hospitals and places like that, and he helps people feel better. He has beautiful brown eyes that literally the dog looks at you and you just totally relax. So I would like to make people aware of a dog like him. He's featured in one of my other stories, and what he does for people. Someone out there may have a dog such as him and not haven't thought about how they could share his gift with other people. Animals, majority of animals are here to be companions to humans, and they do contribute a lot to quality of life to a lot of people. Not everyone can own a pet, considering where they live and whatnot, but they could all appreciate a pet that you see on the street, in the store. You don't have to be scared. I know my grandson, when he was little, would not go near a dog. And I'm talking 10, 11 years old, right? Would not go. He just, for some reason, didn't trust them. And I had a dog when I was in Barbados, and his name was Dill. And he was a black and white dog with a big patch over one eye. And he was a beautiful dog. He was crazy as hell. So I may not have a dog now, but I have owned one. And, they are just there to make you smile. So even though presently, as I said, I don't own a dog, I have no issues when being in the presence of animals, mostly. Don't bring any snakes around me, mind you. I'm not down with that. No lizards, no snakes.
Yeah, me too. Creepy crawlies, no.
Nah. But a dog, if you don't have any ill will to the dog wouldn't have any ill will to you. And I try to be that way. I try to be calm around the dog, because they sense if you are uneasy, and they sense if you're fearful before you even see them up close. So you gotta give them a chance. So for little ones and their parents and things like that, it could only enhance the storyline. It could only enhance somebody's life who has a dog, who understands. And even for pet owners who do not have kids, I know some people go to that extent. If they buy sofas for the dog, and I've seen it happen, I worked at the Marshalls. They buy clothes for the dog. They buy all sorts for the dog. They're gonna buy a book to read the dog to sleep. You know what I mean? Especially if the character of the dog is around the same as theirs. Who knows? I'm not saying, people who like to read anything. And it's better if you read a story that leaves a smile on your face than one that leaves you in shock.
Yeah. I think that's true. You know, like when I write in my adult books, I tell people that I realize that people underestimate the power of humor. Everybody is writing about all the evils and all the pain in the world. And I said, we've forgotten how to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've forgotten how to smile. And I think it's important that when we tell stories, we remember that. Put a smile on someone's face. You know, when you spoke about dogs, I was smiling because I grew up with dogs. What started my fear of dogs now, apart from the dogs that are mine or that I'm familiar with, I was chased by a dog when I was, I think, 10 years old. And that thing traumatized me. It was a feral dog. So feral dogs are all these stray dogs that I don't know what it saw, but that dog chased me and I ran. And I ran like I had never run before. So yeah, and since moving to Canada, I don't do pets here anymore because of the difference in pet culture. In Nigeria, because my dad was in the police force, we had no dogs. So the dog is there to, I like big dogs, so the dog is there to bark.
Yeah.
People and strangers away or to alert the dog here beware. But in Canada, it's different. We don't keep dogs in our houses back home. But in Canada,
not in the West Indies either.
Yeah, here dogs come into your house.
That's not really our culture.
Yeah.
I would have to say, no. Personally in Barbados, my dog lived in the backyard. My mother built him a house in the backyard. He'd come up on the step. We'd feed him. You know what I mean? We'd go for walks with him. You know, he'd run up and down the street. He loved school children and he used to eat ice. You know what I mean? Like, he loved a cup of tea. I'm talking with sugar, milk.
Oh.
This is the West Indies. You do weird things. So yeah.
Yeah.
But in the bed, no.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that's what I noticed with Canada, that dogs here are treated like sometimes even better than humans.
A lot of times.
So I couldn't do that. But if people want to buy your books, where can they find your book to buy?
The book at this time is available on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. I think that when I set that up, I didn't put it in enough categories, if you understand what I'm saying. Okay. I didn't understand the workings of it. So I think it's a little bit limited. So when you go to Amazon, if you put in Enoch and Harold, then it will come up.
Okay. Do you have an Instagram handle? Are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook. However, I will be setting up a Facebook page for Enoch and Harold and Instagram for Enoch and Harold within the next few days.
Do you know what you'll be calling those pages for anybody who is listening?
Great Adventures of Enoch and Harold.
Okay. Great Adventures of Enoch and Harold. Okay. Yeah. That's easy enough to remember.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I came to terms with that probably 2 days ago that I should do that. Yeah.
Okay, so for people who are interested in buying the book, it's available on Amazon. You just type in the title "Great Adventures of Enoch and Harold," and in the next few days, hopefully by next week, if you wanted to find Maxine Sewitt on Instagram, type in Great Adventures of Enoch and Harold, and also there'll be a Facebook page coming up called Adventures of Enoch and Harold. Okay, so before we wrap up, you were talking about some of the merchandise you hope to do for this series, and I will show you, because I always like to give people nuggets, wisdom nuggets, so they know, okay, this is how certain things are done, because now I feel that I'm able to guide people.
Yes, you are a pioneer. You're definitely a pioneer.
I try. So this is Crowning Glory, my book about a history of African hair tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So this one here, I'm teaching children and people, even the adults who read, about African hair culture, because there just seems to be so much that a lot of people do not know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When enslaved Africans were taken away, their hair was shaved.
Yeah.
Give them of their identity. So I had this, and then I have it in English and French, and then the second one is the African safari, which is an introduction to Africa's indigenous animals. Because a lot of people do not know that kangaroos and tigers are not indigenous to Africa.
They're Australian, yeah.
Yes, so people do not know that. And lovely illustrations. This is me introducing children to indigenous animals. Yeah, but I think I got so caught up with the podcast and all of that. So I haven't had time.
Lovely.
Yes, and I had some samples done, which I think I have to sit and work on.
They're so cute.
Yeah, so
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I can discuss with you in regards to dolls. I actually interviewed, that was 2 weeks ago. I actually interviewed an author who wrote a book. Who is working on a series of dog stories. She has published, I think, 4 or 5, and for each book she has a doll to go with the book.
Okay, yes, that's nice. That's so nice.
And they're not that expensive to actually get done. If you are doing about 200 pieces or more, maybe in China, maybe it comes down to like $3 each.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but you have to do like about 200 and above. Talk about that. So I just want to say a very big thank you to you, Maxine, aka Lady M.
Thank you, my dear.
Yes, and once again, viewers, I said Maxine and I come a long way from our struggle days. Yeah.
Yep.
So I would just like to say a very, very big thank you. I hope we get you back. I'll be happy to bring you back here again to feature you when your second book is ready.
Thank you.
If you decide to rework this first book, but like I said, there is beauty in imperfection. That's life. So, and I'm happy that I've been part of this journey of yours.
A huge part.
When you're a superstar, I hope you remember.
We will walk together on the superstar. Okay, we will work together on that.
All right. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Louisa. It's been my pleasure.